So it is August 13th. We are here at the DSC. It is 4:10 p.m. We're going to start our joint committee meeting. This is T. Good Sky. I will be leading. We have an agenda online. I hope you guys all have edit ability. This has been up for a few weeks. I'm asking Miss Brenda here to take notes for our resolutions. The first thing I want to go through is we should have leadership for AIPAC. So do you have that big post-it, that big note with the 4 people who are nominated?
No, I did not bring it, but the 4 people who were nominated at that last meeting were Amber Green Sky, Amber Light Feather, T. Good Sky, and Jeremy Wilson.
Okay.
I believe we were going to read or was it that because that was one meeting, from my recollection is that because we were planning to have multiple meetings for multiple opportunities for parents to engage, that we were going to, because I know there's a proposed the 26th of August meeting. My understanding is that we were going to hopefully have more parent engagement over the course of a couple meetings to gather more.
Jennifer, could you get the doors so we're not hearing the
Since
hallway?
there was, I think, very few people that attended the August 1st meeting, and we're hoping to have more parental involvement and input. So are we just making elections now based on that one meeting?
Well, this is another group of parents. This is another group. So if there are additional nominations, I motion for additional nominations to be made right now for consideration.
Any other nominations we want to add?
I guess what do we feel will be the final time for nominations? When do we close that nomination? On the 26th?
Today.
I don't know. Who are you?
Amy Getz. Who are you?
Was that made aware to?
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm Lydia.
Nice to
Was
meet
that made aware on any of the things that were publicized that this would be an election meeting?
Can I ask a question? Hi, sorry I'm late. The traffic, Jen Garbo. Did we do introductions yet?
No.
Okay, could we start with introductions?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I guess I'll start. I'm T. Good Sky. I was the former Title VI chair, and I am a voting member of AIPAC. I'll popcorn to you, Curtis.
Yep, I'm Curtis Good Sky. I'm a parent.
Jen Garbo, parent.
Sean Clark, parent.
Amber Green Sky, parent.
Amy Getz, School Law Center.
Jennifer Murray, Community, Fond du Lac.
Donald Melton, parent and JOM chair.
Lydia, parent.
Brenda Goldmine, and I am staff rep on AIPAC and Title VI, if I'm remembering correctly.
Perfect. Be good. Okay, so going back to nominations, what's the issue here, Lydia?
I guess my understanding is that there was going to be a number of meetings in the month of August to allow multiple opportunities for families and community members to engage, because I know that's something that we all want, more engagement, and that there was going to be a number of meetings over the course of August to provide those opportunities for parents to both become engaged and know what's going on, but then to also garner more input or engagement in terms of the leadership of those committees. And so my understanding is that we were planning to have a meeting on the 26th at the Public Library Cold Room, and that having multiple opportunities, because there was not a lot of people at that last meeting, and this meeting I think wasn't as publicized as that last one.
Okay, so can we jump to Amy?
Yeah, so we sent out an agenda, proposed rules of etiquette. I sent them directly to you and to other members of the committee. I think that we were clearly signaling that the elections would take place. And what were the steps that were going to be taken to solicit other community input that you just referred to?
We had discussed that at the August 1st meeting, that we were going to have another meeting on the 26th. And I think that communication was only sent to a select group of people. And so was it publicized to the greater AIU community through Parent Square, the website, that the elections for the leadership of the committees was going to occur today. Just as a parent, having like Parent Square and Facebook and other things, that was not notified to like the rest of the community.
I think the answer is yes, because it's been published on the website. And so that gave everybody notice. And again, you made reference to some community efforts that were discussed to bring on additional community members in this process that you described. What efforts were discussed and decided on to make that happen?
Can I let them know?
No, shoot.
Okay. We were having this meeting and we discussed doing unity in the community.
Okay, I think we're just gonna move on. We don't really have a lot of time to be just discussing everything. We actually have a lot to move through.
Well, she asked specifically for those opportunities that we had talked about in unity in the community is a very large parent engagement opportunity. And I feel we could request for the district to make a flyer for the August 26th meeting that could be distributed. That's a very large community engagement, and we could make some sort of flyer that does specifically indicate to our
And
families.
was
So
that
the
the understanding of everybody else?
I just want to jump in.
Let's
So
respond. to
the
that.
issue right now is we don't have leadership for AIPAC. So we have nominations for leadership for AIPAC, and I think we need to just start moving along with that so that we know who is in charge of the AIPAC meetings, so that when we have AIPAC meetings, it's not what's going on, what are we doing, who's in charge. That's something I think we could nip in the bud right now. Yes, Don?
So, last year, we had the elections, right? And then in July, we had a meeting, I believe it was public, and at that first meeting, we established leadership, because these parent committees really don't have, there's no real direction without leadership. So leadership needs to be established. Now, if you want a leadership change, I think that's outlined in the bylaws later down the road. But if you're trying to add more people to these parent committees, oh my God, yes, we want to add more people to these parent committees. I don't even know, you guys don't even have, how many does AIPAC say they're supposed to have?
There is no set number by statute. We need to provide for the maximum participation of American Indian parents, of students eligible for American Indian programs in the district. So it could be as large as 100 members, and the way that it was explained at our MDE training is that our roster actually gets submitted multiple times in the year, so those names can absolutely change throughout the year, and I think they do. As far as what we're talking about right now, if we want to call this person, whoever, we have more than 6 parents here, that's more than enough to move forward on a decision. If we want to call this person an interim chair, just to have leadership in place, because there is pending business. There's our application that needs a chairperson's signature. That's for $413,000 that somebody needs to take point on. So I am advocating for a chair to be chosen tonight, and if we want to call him an interim chair, I'm good with that.
There is no mention on the Duluth Public Schools American Indian website that this meeting today was for that purpose.
We don't have control over that, though.
Right, but she had said that that was notification. I mean, we could maybe do like an interim for that, but I feel like unity in the community, that's a massively marketed event, and we will have a table that is next to the department's official table, and those things will be provided. I coordinated that with Ms. Black, that we could request a flyer be made that denotes that August 26th meeting would be like the official election for that, just so that we have an opportunity to spread that to a large amount of people, because we want that maximum engagement.
Okay, Don?
Make a motion to vote for interim leadership for the next, let's say, 2 months.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, so Don has motioned interim leadership, Amber Green Sky is seconding. We have 4 nominees do we have any other nominations we want to add? This was from our August 1st meeting. We have Amber Green Sky, Amber Lightfeather, T Good Sky, and Jeremy Wilson.
This is for APAC or Title VI?
APAC.
And that's for AIPAC leadership.
Yep.
Can we remind
Who's Jeremy?
I'm
Yep.
comfortable being a committee member.
Okay.
No, all the way down.
We are removing
But-
Jeremy Wilson.
If I could go on note, and if Kate Topping plans to return, I'd like to nominate her for
She was a
president.
staff, I don't think,
Co-president.
or she's did she apply?
I don't know the specifics there. I don't want to speak to something I don't know about.
What was his name?
I nominate
Okay.
co-chairs Amber Green Sky and Amber Lightfeather to return as leaders of APAC.
Well, they're already on there,
What do you mean?
Not as of June 30th.
so we should have like a, no, they're nominated, right?
Right.
So no.
And Jeremy just took his name off, so.
Yep.
So-
So we have 3 nominations.
So we just, tear out some pieces of paper and
I'm willing to
Vote,
be
or do we just-
co-chair.
vote openly, or what are you gonna do?
Are you gonna nominate yourself, Lydia?
Sure, for co-chair, not single chair.
So nominations are still on the, not the floor of the table?
Yep.
Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Yep. Last minute nominations. Okay. How should we proceed with this? Do we want to proceed with this?
Yeah,
It just seems like it's.
absolutely. Do we want it to be kind of an anonymous, let's write names on pieces of paper and choose up to 2?
I got some notebook paper in here.
Oh, I'm on it, okay.
Are we voting for
Who's voting?
co-chairs?
Yeah.
Co-chairs for APAC.
Is everyone here allowed to vote?
Yes.
That's appearance?
Yes.
APAC is the most open eligibility,
Yes.
Okay.
vested community members,
Okay.
essentially.
Do we organize this thing for the APAC? For the APAC?
APAC, I do
Yeah,
vote.
All right,
not.
you voting?
No, wait, I take that back.
Is it?
No vote on APAC, yes vote on title,
So
as of right now.
I would say as of right now, because it's a new year and we're not necessarily bound by old bylaws, and you are here as a community member and
Oh, here, we
a
got
teacher is specifically listed in statute,
Correct.
I would say everyone here in the room gets a voice. Okay.
So we're picking one or two.
We're thinking 1 or 2.
2 names for co-chairs.
Two names from co-chair.
Two co-chairs? Okay. So I guess we're gonna go two interim co-chairs for the next few months, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Is that the motion made?
Yeah.
Okay.
American Indian Teachers, not just as like a staff rep, but as
Right,
an American
exactly.
Indian teacher.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody got their votes?
Oh,
So Jeremy withdrew.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Amber Lightfeather, Amber Green Sky, Team Good Sky, and leadership.
But we're only voting for co-chairs, right?
Yep. So two. I think we're doing like interim, hopefully to make a more publicized larger engagement. Was that my understanding?
Yeah, we should always be trying to increase our engagement.
Right, but to
Collecting the
interim,
votes.
this is like kind of an
have a
interim
vote?
to get the year started.
Oh,
as we
pass
have
it down.
more- I
Oh,
feel like when
pass
the
it down?
year
Where are they?
starts, because
You
we're
got
gonna have hunter
You
kickoff,
got
remember,
it?
it's
You got
gonna be a hunter kickoff,
Oh,
and then we're gonna have a number of us that be meeting in the community to get more people.
All right,
All right, will you count and collect, Dawn, while I move on?
I'll read them off. Who's gonna write them down?
What?
I'll read them off. You ready?
Just give them to me, Dawn.
I'm right. Where are you gonna?
If you can
do
sort
what?
them out, that would be.
I'm just counting, just reading them off. Amber and Amber.
To vote, did you finish, Amber? We don't
Yeah.
have them all, do we?
Amber and Amber.
okay.
Teague and Amber.
Which Amber?
Which Amber?
Green Sky. Green Sky. Amber, Green Sky, and Teague. Amber, Green Sky, and Amber Lightfeather. Lydia and Amber.
Which one?
Green Sky. Teague and Green Sky. Teague and Amber, Green Sky.
Was that 2 for Teague and Amber Green Sky, or was that just 1?
Those one.
I
Okay.
had 3.
The last one he read was Teague and
I'll
Amber.
double check.
Yeah, it was Teague.
Yeah, you
I
said
said-
it twice. You said
I
the same
said
thing
Teague and Green Sky.
twice, and then
said Teague and Green Sky, and
I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
Right. Next one is Amber and Teague,
Green Sky.
Green Sky. This one is Amber Light Feather and Teague Good Sky. This one is Amber Light Feather, Amber Green Sky. This one is, just says Lydia on it.
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for Amber G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I don't like that Amber like
6 for Amber L.
She did notify us via email that she had a mandatory work engagement that would prohibit her from being here
2,
today.
3,
She did communicate that.
5 for Teague. 1, 2, 3. Is that right? 3 Lydia. Okay. I have 9 votes for Amber Green Sky, 6 votes for Amber Light Feather, 5 votes for Teague, and 3 votes for Lydia. So
How many for Amber Light Feather?
6.
So it sounds like you are the coaches,
Okay.
but when she gets here, we'll ask her.
Yeah, but just verify and then it'd go next down the list, right? If she wants to decline it.
All right, I'm gonna highlight these two. And then, are we good to move on?
Yes.
Okay, so our next would be Title VI nominees. I guess I will nominate myself. Would anybody else like to nominate for Title VI?
I have a question. How do you know that they're a qualified parent or guardian of a student that is Title VI?
I guess we don't.
You have to.
Well, I am.
You are. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. We
Yeah.
would need someone from the district to verify that, right? So I motion to maintain Teague as interim chair for Title VI until we can get district support to verify. Other nominees.
Would anyone like a second?
I second that.
All right, all in approval, raise your hand, say aye. Aye.
It's unanimous.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's unanimous?
Unanimous. Perfect.
Okay, Title VI is set for the next year.
Is that interim until we can have district support, or is that for
When
the?
will we have district support?
That's
the
it's
question.
interim until district support.
Yep.
That's what was said. So, that should be noted.
For, I thought for both is,
Do you have a consent?
For AIPAC, it was 2 months. That was
until
what
we
the,
can do the
that was what
August,
proposed.
the August 26th.
No, it was 2 months. To give you more space, so you can have more time to build what you guys want to do. Sounds like you want to make sure that you have a lot of support for bringing people on for leadership.
I
So
just,
you have 2 minutes, 2 months to do it.
I would just like the district to advertise, if we decide a meeting that says, this is the meeting that we want to elect leadership for the entire year,
Mhm.
that the district does advertise that thoroughly
Great.
and have opportunity so that the other parents and community members know that, like, to prioritize the attendance of that meeting, because this meeting was not publicized on Facebook or the web, or
The
it's on.
American Indian Education page was taken down.
Right, but
So
Duluth Public
we don't
Schools.
have the opportunity to post on that, and we don't have control whether the district will post our meetings or
I
our.
posted on Facebook.
Yeah, I screenshotted the parent, because there was a parent square message that was sent out. Like, I screenshot that and sent that, but I would have liked, like the last meeting, like Jen had said, the district did do I feel, a good job at publicizing the August 1st meeting, and I would have liked to see that happen for this meeting as well.
We had to post that ourselves on the Facebook page.
Because we asked them to cooperate and to participate, and they refused.
So
So,
I actually,
we got stonewalled.
I had some access to that page. I was able to post that flyer on that page and then share it off the page. And then the day before that meeting, they deactivated that account. So now we cannot independently post our meeting notices. It all has to go through the district.
So how do you make that happen?
Did the
Does the committee write to the district and say, please post this?
That would be a Gray or an Anthony question.
Right.
It
'Cause
might
they
go
have-
through Adele Wellens, who is she's, I think, the person who maintains the district Facebook pages and Parent Square and all the communications. I
Typically,
honestly
there's-
think we should make our own Facebook page for AIPAC.
There's two things you can do. One is whoever is in charge in maintenance on your school district, whatever, you still need a sign off from an administrator most of the time. Number two, you are allowed by all means to have your own Facebook page regardless. Regardless.
So
We
we should
don't
do
have
that.
to ask permission to do that. That is a community, a parent right to do that. And then I'm noticing as we're going in the meeting, because I always got to jump in here, is one is don't say district, the district. Name the person. Who is the interim Indian Ed coordinator?
Anthony Bonds.
Then that's the name you use. When you say district, as an administrator myself, I want to know, are you talking about me? Are you talking about the person next door to me? Who? So be specific, because they're the ones that have the responsibility to do these things. The other thing I noticed is you can, technically, you're not allowed to jump from AIPAC to Title VI. You open and close the meetings.
We have a joint meeting from 4 to 6 tonight, though.
But technically, okay, I just want to point that out. Technically.
So what we need to do next is go through the bylaws for the three committees and make sure that they are strengthened and they're in conjunction with each other.
Can I ask a question before we get off the last topic? Since we have a district representative here, and the question is who's going to post the notice for the final election that's going to happen at the end of August, can we ask the district representative?
No,
No,
I'm
but-
actually a teacher representative,
Okay.
and I do not know procedurally what that looks like.
And so how do we write to Anthony Bonds, the interim coordinator, to ensure that he posts the notice that needs to happen so we're not in this position
There's the
again?
request form. Would we utilize the request form that has been generated?
We can,
Mhm.
that will be Amber's job now.
And by law, Anthony being the interim, that's why I say name the person that's in charge, is by law, they have to post the public meetings.
Yes.
Yeah, it is on this meeting was posted on like the American Indian Education or the website page, but I feel, and then there was some Parent Square stuff that went out earlier this week, but I feel like the last meeting was more public. I would just want to see the Indian Education Department, whether that's Mr. Bonds or Ms. Black, that there be more publicized of these meetings on their Facebook page, maybe a scroller on their main page, and you don't have to dig for it on their website, that meeting is going to have an election. Because if you don't, some of our new parents don't even have Parent Square set up because school year hasn't started. And so if that's the only method that we're getting parents this information, like not everybody has that. Or
And will this request form trigger these things Lydia's talking about?
It's supposed to. It's a brand new process that was established just within the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how that works.
I would.
I know for JOM, I asked Ray to send out invitations to everybody. So hopefully everybody got an email from JOM as far as a parent goes. So if I knew the same thing you're saying, that not everybody has, some people just delete Parent Square once school's over. Like, even though I'm already getting text messages from Denville about stuff, so it's like, yikes, it's on its way.
Could, as the interim chair through that request, I would like, the Indian Education Department, because I think Gray would be the person who formulates that, but Anthony would probably have to be the one to approve it. addition to the social media, like that the district, Mr. Bonds,
Let me see.
do more publicizing of that?
Yeah.
So typically you have a communications person on your staff somewhere in the district, and so your request to Anthony would be to access, if you have to spell it out even, what social media, what newspaper, what Square, what Facebook, and then whatever falls outside of there, that's on you all too, to put on your stuff to push out. But be specific, so that way it's not like, well, I didn't really know what she meant.
Are we working within Title and AIPAC right now, or are we just AIPAC?
Well, so it should be the 3 committees.
Okay, so we're working within all
So we can get our
three.
bylaws in
Okay,
line.
so if we're working with, I'd like to propose an amendment to the previous interim to 2 months to the last Tuesday of October, because JOM, I'm gonna be trying to have a JOM election that night, so.
Could we have a Title VI election
the
with the
26th.
JOM election?
Huh? No, because it was 2 months for title. That was the initial.
At the end of August. You said the end, that in August.
End of October, you said.
Oh, October.
At the end of October, we're having an election we're trying to have an election for JOM. So we could probably have like a meeting that night, and then we could make it a title meeting and a JOM meeting.
Honestly, that's a really good time to have a title open public meeting. There should be the annual performance report out at that point that needs to be shared community-wide. So an October meeting is completely
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a
appropriate and a
note.
good idea.
October, sorry, did you list it?
It's the last Tuesday of October. So I don't have it in front
Are
of me.
we setting meetings on Tuesdays again, or is that part of the discussion today? Is that
We can.
do we want to pull that?
As an interim, I am not comfortable setting a schedule for a chair that isn't here. So I am comfortable calling meetings for the next 2 months, and they will fall where they lie.
October 28th is the last Tuesday.
Okay.
October is fine.
So that will be election for,
Well, I haven't got it approved yet. Talk about that a little bit.
what do you mean you haven't gotten it approved?
Well, our elections are every 4 years, but we're supposed to have 11 people, and there's nothing, our bylaws for JOM don't necessarily state how we get to adding those other people that we need when we're short, right? Because we need more parents. We're down to seven.
Well, I think having a flyer made, now that we have a date and if we want to pick a time, Mr. Bonds and Ms. Black could generate something that is on the official Duluth Public Schools paperwork, and we could hand that out at
Well,
the events.
As far as JOM is what I'm saying, we need to have it written down in the bylaws. We need to have the mechanism outlined.
But for this date, to start distributing.
Oh, right.
To start distributing that date, that the district, Mr. Bonds would create a flyer that, because Ms. Green Sky is going to be at winter kickoff, I think we discussed some other open houses. Like you're saying, how do we get those parents? Those are the places to get them and get that date and time out there so people could plan to be there.
Okay, are we done with this discussion piece? Are we ready to move on?
Sorry, I just have one more question. Is there some kind of informational flyer that is available to recruit other parents that describes what the committees do and what's involved in membership? I don't know that.
We can make one.
I believe there is one, I requested with Ms. Black that I believe there is an AIPAC specific one. I know there's brochures that speak to the different programs, like Title VI, JOM, AIPAC, or yeah, like Indian Ed, Title VI, and JOM.
Last I heard, those were outdated. Did they ever create new ones?
I had asked if she would look at the last update date, or if there was like a published date on those. I can request, since I'm the person that's communicating with Ms. Black for specifically Unity in the Community, I can request if she send a PDF of that to me or to the group, and then we can review that and say, do we want this to be distributed? Is this something we want distributed at Unity in the Community?
I am good with you making that decision because our next AIPAC meeting is until after Unity in the Community starts.
Right.
So
Today's Wednesday,
So that's in 5 days.
Yes, so like if there's one that's already there and you're like, yep, this looks right, I am good with
When is it?
somebody unilaterally making that decision so that it can be in place for that event. I don't think it needs.
Is anybody in our Google
From
Meet?
4 to 7 at Bayfront.
Has anybody
Am I,
joined
am
our
I
Google
ready to be
Meet?
there? And no JOM stuff?
No, we had signed
I'm
up
just
at
wondering
the
if
last
anyone's
meeting who's
jumped
gonna
into the
work the
Google Meet.
table. It's,
No, well, there was no reach out to JOM.
I appreciate you being.
Yeah.
it was just that, it was at that meeting that AIPAC would have a table and we would just have the.
So no JOM?
JOM flyers will be there. You're more than welcome to come down. We just talked about it under like the AIPAC umbrella at the last meeting because it was an AIPAC meeting.
Yeah,
But
I've gotten no communication from.
I
in
requested
fact,
all
I'm just-
materials.
I just heard about this actually yesterday, that there was even, but this was, I didn't know what the date was or anything.
Yeah.
And that I wasn't aware we were having a table there. I think I've seen it in the notes that there was a table.
Yeah, I had requested that the district, set aside a space for just like the committees in July, cause I know they close the planning for that event in July. And so then on the August 1st meeting, I said, hey, do we want to utilize that table? And I think we had all discussed what we want the district to have, what information we want them to have, forms, we want them to have, we discussed the raffle.
Last year we had the JOM, I had the two forms, I had the reimbursement page and then I had the sign up page. And I sat there with Jen and Amber.
Yeah, I think we all kind of
Yeah,
showed
you
up,
were there,
rotated
yeah.
Yeah, we all
through,
just
sat
kinda
behind the table.
So it's gonna be the same deal?
Yeah, we're gonna have a table separate there, so what we had, the people who were at the August 1st meeting, that there'll be a table that is specifically the district, like the Indian Education Department, and then there will be a table directly next to it that will be for, the committee's use. So they're next to each other, so there's some connection there, but it is a separate table.
Did you ever find the big banner?
Yes,
Talk about it.
I requested that.
Cool.
Grace said that they had found that. The forms this way, we had kind of discussed some of the different things that we want Anthony and Greg to provide at that table.
Swag?
Yep, swag, forms, where we talked about a drawing for gift cards, so there would be one for existing families. And then if you fill out a form, and then it's verified, a Title VI form, right, we can't. If then
We could talk to JOM, we could do like $5 gift cards for people to pick up some,
we were gonna use the gift cards that were left over from the powwow, cause we
Oh.
didn't need approval
Oh.
from anybody to use those.
well, I already have approval.
So we'd kinda talked about,
Fine. Great.
about doing that. So if we want to do the October 28th, I could, if we wanna set a date and a place to distribute flyers at Union in the community for that election, or if we just wanna distribute flyers for the August 26th meeting. But I just feel like that's a really good spot to reach, thousands of families attend that event.
So my suggestion was to consider some kind of a flyer that describes your desire to have more parents join the committee, describes what the committee does, right, what its role is, what its duties are, so that you have those available for people to take and read and distribute and put on the website.
I can inquire with Ray if something like that already exists. I don't know if an AIPAC, like a committee one exists. I know the programs have informational brochures and flyers. I don't know if the committee, I can inquire.
You can ask that on the AI, if you use Gemini or ChatGPT. I know a lot of metro schools have a flyer already for the different funding sources.
And something for
That'd be
jail.
great too, because if you
Yeah.
get the August meeting and then get them to come to a meeting in September, and then there's an opportunity for them to be part of the leadership in October. See, that really builds up, and then hopefully.
Well, I feel like in October, by then, we have families are connected with all of the school things. We've got families that are registered for school, and that there'd be more people. So I feel like October gives us a lot more time to garner.
More people in AIPAC will bring more people to JOM too, so. that's
Yeah,
good.
and I did, because the JOM eligibility changed last year.
Right.
So I did reach out to ask if the information that the district has for JOM
does, it's right on the form, in fact.
Okay, because
have
I
it.
wouldn't want us to send something out that is incorrect to families.
We got brand new forms last year, that's what it was, so.
Okay, those were supplied by, or like, those
Those
would
are
be,
supplied by Fond du Lac.
okay. Okay.
Okay, are we good to move on?
Oh, yeah, you guys gonna move your agenda, didn't you? We have no idea.
Okay, so
Tegan's going through it.
Jeez.
I would like, Curtis, if you can look through Title VI for this, Amber, if you can look through AIPAC for this, and Dawn, if you can look through JOM bylaws. What is considered quorum for your committee?
6 out of 11, I think, for JOM.
6 out of 11 for, or, yeah, 6.
6 out of 11 for JOM, what page is that on?
Page 4.
I'm pretty sure they were all 6.
Staff budget, no?
And majority of voting members for
Oh, page 4? No.
For AIPAC?
There's no, page 2 says 11 voting members. So 6 would be a quorum because it's, right, half plus 1. And then it also says if you don't have 11 on your committee, you can appoint eligible parents or guardians.
Where does it say that?
I don't know, it's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Where did you find it? I thought I just read this thing the other day. I must have missed it.
Let's see, where did I see it?
Is that the APAC one?
No,
No,
this
JOM.
is JOM.
The JOM bylaws,
Sorry,
trying to
because
figure
it's
out
back.
what is considered quorum, so that we know how many people have to show up, because we've had people just not showing up, and then we can't.
I read it, I don't remember, I think it's on page 3 under section 2 quorum.
What's for Title VI?
For Title VI, it's Title 6, Article 6, Section 5, quorum, a 51% majority of meeting attendance shall constitute a quorum.
What page is that?
There's not page numbers.
Oh, wow.
It's Article,
Article 6, Section,
yeah,
Section 5.
okay.
Subcommittees.
But where did I read that you can appoint if you don't need to do 11?
Page 8, I believe. There are no page numbers, but,
Okay,
For
that's
Title
probably
VI,
why.
she's talking about JOM.
oh, sorry.
We're talking, I think people are looking at different copies.
Yes, I really look at a different thing.
Yep, or different.
I asked Curtis about Title VI specifically, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay,
Okay,
I see
Title,
Dawn was still going through JOM.
so are we looking at Title VI or JOM right now?
All of them. We're looking at all 3. I had asked 3 people to be point people, and then the rest of us, we should have a copy of each set of bylaws. So we should all have the same information. Yes, Lydia?
Off of what Jen Marie had said, should we be creating these bylaws? These are separate committees that, in theory, I know a lot of the things in our bylaws look very similar from one committee to the next, but I don't know the group's thoughts on, should we be creating these bylaws individually, because they can look very different based on the committee and the eligibility of the people on the committee versus working on all 3 of them simultaneously. They can look very similar, but it doesn't mean they have to. And there are different rules and different things for each committee, so I don't know if we want to just do one committee's bylaws and then another committee's bylaws and then do them separately, as they are completely separate committees with different responsibilities and some different legal guidelines.
So what I had asked is, in the committee bylaws, what is considered quorum for each committee? So that we can just compare those 3 things and then see if it's consistent.
So for
We're
APAC,
not changing anything, we're not amending anything, we're just looking at the bylaws and comparing them.
for APAC, Article 5, Section 2, quorum. A quorum for conducting official APAC business shall consist of a majority of voting members. For a committee of 10 voting members, a quorum shall be 6. We used 6 all last year. Because our committee doesn't necessarily, we've been told we don't necessarily have to delineate who our voting memberships are, and they are this large community group that is kind of flux. I propose keeping that just 6 parents is a quorum for business to.
Sorry, it's 6, majority of voting members present, that what you're saying?
This is where it got sticky with our training. We had operated under the assumption that we needed to elect voting membership. Betsy had said, no, you don't need an election.
That's for the state aid.
Yeah, that's for the state aid. So this section, the way we wrote our bylaws last year assumed we would have to have an election for our voting memberships. We operated with a quorum of 6 all last year. I'm just proposing we keep that as our quorum.
Okay, so 6 for
But is that
AIPAC.
majority?
That's why that's not appropriate language anymore after our training. That little section would have to change.
Oh, like the simple majority doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, because our voting membership, if we show up and there are 15 parents in the room, then you know what I mean. Our votes it looks different, but we can't we need a number of parents to say, oh, this is enough people to do business. And I think 6 parents is achievable. We never missed a meeting last year for lack of quorum, so.
That makes sense.
What I'm seeing in JOM is exactly that language you're talking about. So a majority of the active membership of the committee shall constitute a quorum. For Article 4, Section 2, quorum. It's the 3rd page of JOM bylaws, I believe. So that's something you might want to consider changing, Dawn?
What do you think of, what did the majority, you wanted to say something,
I think JOM has different.
sorry, back.
Well, there's a difference with JOM because JOM is a governance, not a advisory board or committee. So that's what, when you're asking the questions for the quorum and stuff, then that's fine. But when it gets down to the meat, it's not everybody in this room that will be included for input.
That's why I was just kind of like, I don't know, there are differences between committees. And I know JOM, there are some things that are stricter.
Well, I know that we have talked about what a quorum was a couple times. I think this is the same language we had in the other bylaws, because we had a bylaw committee, subcommittee. We worked on this stuff. This is the language that we had in the other one too, so I don't think that as far as what the committee wants is going to change as far as the quorum.
Okay. I just want to see across the board what we have identified as quorum.
Right.
But it doesn't
And if it's
have
going to work for all 3
It
committees.
doesn't have to be the same across the board.
It doesn't have to be. Okay. Who is a voting member? How are they selected and what are their requirements?
So now we're doing bylaw work.
And I'll tell you.
Should we be doing them, again, I'm revisiting, should we be creating these bylaws separately, like we do the Title VI, we get through that, we make those decisions, then we do AIPAC, versus we're looking at all 3 at the same time.
What is the question here?
So what I heard is that, and my experience, is that you can't, for regular meetings, you can't have, we're all just gonna talk about all the business. You open up a Title VI, then you close the Title VI, then you open up an AIPAC, like the meetings, when we have our regularly scheduled meetings, are separate, and that's what I heard I was looking at Jen Garbo, Jen Murray says that those meetings have to be independent of each other. So when we are creating the bylaws, because the committees are separate committees and have different roles, responsibilities, and guidelines statutorily, should we be creating bylaws at the same time for all 3 committees?
We're not creating bylaws.
No, we're
We're
identifying.
not, we're identifying who's a voting member right now. So like our voting member for JOM is set because our fiscal year goes till September 30th for JOM. Our voting membership for our Title VI committee is already set because we haven't had an annual public meeting where we had a vote for that. So right now our voting membership for Title VI, I assume, is the same voting members as we had last year until we get an election for Title VI. Is that what I understand? And our voting members for AIPAC are open based on Minnesota statute to anyone who falls under that 124D dot whatever it is. So,
And this is outlined by the Johnson O'Malley Act.
yeah. So so for JOM, our voting members are, based on last year's election, Don, Amber Green Sky, Amber Lightfeather, Lydia Schinkel,
The polls.
Tim Pohl, Phyllis Pohl, Dustin Christian, and Shia Diver.
Shia Diver was removed.
Was she ever actually
She was.
in minutes?
Yeah, well,
We
I think we voted. We voted, we had it.
Okay,
I don't know.
Letters. I think
This
that
one.
was before. That was before I.
Was that the one before you?
so a letter got sent out.
Yeah,
It was
I sent an email.
You sent an email? Okay,
I sent an
so
email.
then we have a 5, 6, 7.
Was Nick and Nate Smith on J?
Nope, they
No.
weren't.
Okay. I know they were eligible.
So that's 7.
So those are our voting members for JOM. Our voting members for Title VI are T. Good Sky, Amber Green Sky, Amber Lightfeather, Lydia Schinkel, Tim Pohl, Phyllis Pohl, Danny Dunphy, and Nate Smith. And then we had 2 student reps, Emma Bourget and Cadell Pohl. That was our 10-member committee.
From the JOM Michigan Diver notification, this is before I was the secretary, but my personal notes from the February 12th meeting was when Don motioned to notify Shea Diver, and that was voted yes by Amber Green Sky, Tim Phillips, myself.
We're probably going to want you to submit those. to
This
the
is
grade.
not official minutes.
That's
This
okay, we don't have
is
any.
my personal minutes.
If we don't have minutes, we need to have something for that one.
Well, I feel like that's, if I'm expected to submit my personal minutes, but other people are not, so.
We still have to
it's a
vote them
slippery
as,
slope.
we're not saying they're going to be approved.
I was not the secretary until,
Right, but I mean,
April,
but
so-
if you would submit those, and then I will see if I can get them approved. That doesn't mean they're going to be automatically approved.
people are expecting people to submit their minutes as personal, but then other people are allowed to deny that.
Oh, we haven't had that problem in JLM yet.
And moving on, voting members for AIPAC are anyone in that statute who shows up at the meeting where the discussion and vote is taking place.
Okay, so that was APAC for membership.
For membership, yep.
And then Title,
Title VI was Nate Smith, Lydia Schinkel, Amber Green Sky.
oh, I thought we were looking at the bylaws.
10.
Amber had listed.
Huh?
Oh, I thought we were getting a gist of who.
Who
is
was
voting.
eligible?
Yeah.
Not,
Who was
who were not
eligible.
exactly eligible.
Oh.
Who's outlined to be eligible. Like JOM has to be 3/4 enrolled Native Americans.
Right.
Ooh, where'd you get that from?
I don't know.
That was language in the
That was the language.
the bylaws that
This
were
was the language
approved.
that, remember at the meeting, you were like, you gotta accept these bylaws.
Yeah, but you changed them.
No, we didn't change these.
Where is it on?
We
the-
don't.
Yeah.
I know it's in
The
here.
composition, membership composition, the committee.
What
of-
article is it under?
Article 3,
Okay.
membership, Section 1, composition. The committee of 11 voting members elected every 4 years shall consist of parents or Indian custodians of American Indian students enrolled in IC 709. At least 3/4 of the members must be American Indian.
Okay,
Committee members who are
Oh,
immediate.
okay, not
family.
enrolled.
yeah, okay. So that's if the student must be tribally enrolled, but the parent or guardian does not need to be.
Well, but they don't have to be, JOM, I thought, changed their eligibility.
Well,
No, that's what people in their heads want to say.
No, the parent committee members
Right.
must be Native American.
No, they do
Yeah,
not.
that's what it says right there.
It says-
That's what our bylaws said.
Right, but you have it at least 3/4
Right.
of the members must be American Indian.
Right,
So
that's
you're
the
talking-
members of the committee.
Correct, because you're probably gonna have a chunk that are non-native, because you have foster parents, you have,
Right.
whatever.
I thought this was by law that we had that.
No,
No,
that was
no.
that was
That
what
was
was
a choice.
historically done in these committees.
Well, if we don't have to have it by law, we can vote to scrap it.
Well, we're not editing bylaws right now, but yeah.
But you can note in your notes.
Yeah.
Right.
There was another question,
Legally.
no, Title VI kids do
Is
not
that the
automatically
original? Do you
qualify
have
for
another
JOM.
copy? Did you have notes on yours?
They have to be certified.
Correct, yeah.
So we have to be very clear until people are really clear.
Until the tribe has responded, yes, this
Yes.
child
You
qualifies.
can, a parent can sign off that their child is eligible for Title VI. But for that student to utilize JOM funds, they must be verified through their tribe that their parent or grandparent was tribally enrolled.
Right.
Because you've had meetings before where the Title VI people came in, got funding for their kids when there was no verification from the tribe that their parent or grandparent was enrolled.
And that's, we've asked for, I believe, Amber, I think you were keeping notes or track at one point of, we had requested the district verify that that student had a JOM flag, which would indicate, in Infinite Campus, which would indicate that they had received the response from.
I'm just letting you know until it's talked, because people think Title VI students are automatically qualified for JOM.
Because-
As fiscal agent for the Bond du Lac Reservation, I'm letting you know that it is not true, and I will correct that 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So I will remind the parents or grandparents, because it is an extra form that must be filled out.
And it's not an instantaneous.
It is not
approval.
instantaneous, and then we don't have to fund you if you send in that paperwork later than, we always try to be a little flexible, but around November-ish. After that, the child can participate, but you will not be funded for that child until the following year.
Because we can, like, because Ms. Black is the one who, as the admin, or the secretary, was sending in, because forms for JOM can be sent to tribes on a rolling basis throughout the year
Oh, yeah.
to get approval, but the funding, if a student gets approved and certified by the tribe JOM in January,
It won't be funded until
that
the fall.
student does not, or the district does not receive the funding because that student count is
Correct.
done
It works the
November.
same as the American Indian State Aid.
Right.
Yeah, the deadline is the deadline, but you'll have the paperwork anyway.
Do you know when we talk about membership for JOM committee, parents or Indian custodians of American Indian students? I feel like I heard you or somebody else, maybe Julia, say that grandparents of American Indian
A lot of
students
times they are.
for
Yeah.
JOM can be, because I know JOM is more narrow of who can be on
Yeah.
the committee, that grandparents can be, because they're not always Indian custodians or parent or guardian, or they're not always the guardians, but grandparents could be members of the committee.
I would put it in your bylaw, so it's not an argument.
Okay. Can foster parents?
By law, foster parents are the guardians of an Indian student.
Working in CPS, that's not true.
This is
Okay.
education.
Okay.
And by law, if a child is in foster care, they are responsible, the foster parents are responsible for our American Indian students with their educational.
They can't sign paperwork for students.
Well, then it's on the social worker.
Right, that's what, yeah, so like. as
Guardian
the-
ad litem or something?
Yeah.
No, guardian items are
That's a
not,
lawyer.
we don't sign
But-
paperwork.
According to
Minnesota.
ICWA, they are the social worker or
Correct.
the foster parent can be at the meetings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my understanding, but in terms of like, if we wanna write in here, like foster parents, because they are not legal custodians of the children.
It's not
this
saying
count-
custodians, is it?
It says parent or Indian custodian.
Okay, usually we put parents or guardians. So custodians, that could be the catch-all for like grandmas,
Indian custodian is a legal term, actually.
well, not under JOM.
Okay.
And it's a legal term for the state of Minnesota?
No,
Federal.
Yeah.
Equal.
ICWA, it's per ICWA, yeah. That's something that we deal with in CPS, yeah. So an Indian custodian would be somebody who has taken legal
So
physical
this,
custody of the
I
child.
would clarify it because JOM comes out of the BIE
Mhm.
and ICWA does, their funding does not.
Right, but that term comes from ICWA. That term Indian custodian is not necessarily who a child lives with, it's a legal denotation for a child.
So what do you think it should say? It should say,
Well, I'm just wondering, my question was,
No, I mean-
we're not editing, I'm just asking
no, you're not, I'm just gonna make
General.
notes of what you think it should say. That's
Um,
all.
grandparents.
You should say grandparents.
And
Alright.
Jen saying that that is something that people can, a grandparent, it is something that somebody who could be on there, and then foster parents.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
That's what I'm hearing, is
Yeah.
that those are allowed.
Yeah, just a comment on the allowableness. I would absolutely advocate for a foster parent to be appointed to an open position, but because that's a temporary status and
They lose their.
once that child is out, then so are they. So, while it wouldn't necessarily make sense to just elect someone based on, I have a foster kid here for the next couple of months, unless it's just by appointment.
Right.
So,
So we could say as long as
Yep.
the child is in their care, that could be.
Well, that goes for JOM across the board, except with the exception of the grandparents.
Right.
but anyway, should we
In a
move on?
Schools.
So I would like us across the board to establish etiquette protocols. I think etiquette protocols could be used for all three committees. Amber Light Feather had some that were going to be printed. You probably don't have them. And I don't know if they'll be here, but it's linked into this document. So this would be our AIPAC meeting quorum.
Very nice.
Okay.
Right.
Can everyone see this?
If I put my glasses on.
Curtis, would you read this out loud?
Yes.
Read it from the screen on the laptop, please.
Yeah. Okay, American Indian Parent Committee Meeting Etiquette, guided by the 7 grandfather teachings. The 7 grandfather teachings, truth, humility, respect, love, courage, honesty, and wisdom, are our traditional values that guide how we live and work together. When applied to meetings, they ensure our conversations and decisions are grounded in cultural principles, creating a respectful, productive, and caring environment. 1. Truth, the huevo. Meaning, speak truth from the heart. Speak your truth without adding assumptions or omitting details. In meetings, communicate clearly and honestly about facts, ideas, and concerns. Share information openly to promote transparency. Ensure reports, updates, and contributions reflect accuracy and integrity. Humility.
Okay, I guess, I don't know if it's worthwhile having read the whole thing out.
Okay.
So we essentially have these 7 grandfather teachings that are being proposed as our meeting etiquette. I'd like us to vote to have this be a resolution, to have this be used for our committees as established etiquette protocols.
In the bylaws?
No, just a resolution to send to the district and say this is going to be our etiquette.
Ask for them to be posted on the website, have them on the door when people walk in. We refer to them if things get out of hand, we refer back to our meeting etiquette rules.
And maybe they can be incorporated at the next meeting
Yes.
into the bylaws when you're
I think
changing
it'd be a good
bylaws.
thing to have at all of our meetings. So if we can just look over, see if we want anything changed, make adjustments, and then push it forward as a resolution.
Can whoever has it scroll down, just so that like truth is the top, so you can have the most?
Yep.
Or,
So this is linked in the agenda for today as well. It is under tab 2 bylaw suggestions and then suggested AIPAC meeting decorum. Is there anything we think should be added or taken away?
I think it's a wonderful start.
I motion to approve.
I second. Do we feel comfortable voting on it? Having grandfather teachings be our meeting etiquette? based
Has
on
everyone
the
gotten a
document?
chance to fully read them?
Not really. I wish we had a printed copy, but today didn't really work out according to plan, so.
I'm not seeing it on the agenda.
I
I saw
didn't
T
see
get
it
sent
either.
out the agenda
Okay.
on August 3rd, for the August 13th agenda, and I'm not seeing it
So,
attached.
Lydia, you have edit permission. It should be August 13th agenda drafted notes.
The one that you had sent out on August 3rd,
Yes.
There are subsections, so you have to like click on the sections on the side. They're like,
on the phone.
I guess I'm not
It's
sure
not as
exactly.
accessible.
Okay. You can look at it on here
Okay.
if you want. There is a tab, sorry, I didn't see that.
Because that's
I don't
not
know how that
showing
would
up.
look on a phone.
Right.
Okay, and
So bylaw suggestions, and then
no,
suggested AIPAC meeting decorum. So under establish etiquette protocols, this is our.
Yeah, I just have like a 9-page document. That's all I'm able to see on the phone.
So you have an APAC quorum, you have a Title VI quorum, but you don't have a JOM quorum here now. Is
We
that
don't have a JOM
correct?
quorum. They have a meeting at 6 tonight.
Right, so the
Other-
JOM folks will need to look at the rules of etiquette separate from this meeting, is that my?
That's right, and,
Yeah,
probably not tonight if it's not printed off.
Amber should be here at 6.
Huh?
Amber Lightfather should be here at 6, and she was gonna provide printed copies.
Okay.
So they should be here by the time JLM meeting starts.
Okay, maybe
That's
we'll
great.
table approval for rules of etiquette until the end of the meeting, until she gets here.
I don't necessarily see the need to wait for the other two committees to vote,
Okay.
to approve them. I just wanted to give people the opportunity to read them.
I'm familiar with them.
This was excellent work, though.
I think they're, yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
I think they're spot on.
I read this yesterday.
I think the tribal college uses
Well, they're
a
quite
lot of
common
this too.
across tribal colleges
really?
specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
They have them actually up in, I think, White Earth. When you go into their rotunda, kind of their common space, they have them painted all over,
Yeah.
all around.
Is there an enforcement mechanism?
Each like tribal
What do you mean an enforcement mechanism? No, if somebody's
Yeah.
shouting or being
Right.
ridiculous at a meeting, just say you're not holding to our 7.
Yeah, but this is a big guideline for chairs, whoever's running the meeting. Whoever's running the meeting needs to be steeped in this. So when things arise, that they can take the lead to stomp these things down.
to remind.
Yeah.
Or remind.
I thought it was written in there somewhere to, step 1, politely remind them of our rules of etiquette. And then if they continue, maybe a second reminder and say you need to leave if you cannot keep it under control.
I think it'd be a good thing to add, we should start another Google Drive for 2025, and I think we should add it into the Google Drive and maybe have a printed copy for each meeting, and just have leaders have the printed, we could even laminate it so it doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah.
And
So-
maybe request laminated to be posted on the doors.
Yeah.
when we have meetings, so that if there are new people that are attending,
That's a good leadership thing for the students at the various schools in Duluth too. A lot of schools will have the 7 grandfather teachings with a picture and then just like a very subtle, not all of the writing, of course, but just what it means.
or the Nashik has them, they look really nice.
So let's try to push this forward as a resolution. So on the 3rd tab on our agenda draft, there's resolutions. So the note that I made, resolutions must be proposed as clear formalized requests, such as the district will submit the application for the American Indian Education Grant that was due by June 1st of each year. So it will be submitted by blank given time span, 2 weeks, for example, in conjunction with the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee. So that's kind of how clear we need to have a resolution be made. So how would we want to word this resolution to adopt these? Would it be,
The Indian Parent Committee is resolved to adopt and abide by the rules of etiquette as outlined by the 7 grandfather teachings document for all meetings.
Yeah, I think you'll have to have 3 different resolutions though.
Yeah.
Right,
3 different resolutions.
for each committee?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But once it's written, it's just changed.
Yeah,
So that resolution piece will be different for JOM, for Tennessee State.
It'll just change the name.
yeah.
Just change that.
Okay, so we'll start with AIPAC, so the American Indian, and I'm just gonna copy yours, Amber.
Yeah.
Parent Advisory Committee
You have food?
Shouldn't be put on 6.
resolves to adopt by the
Have food, we'll stay.
proposed
think it's adopt and abide by.
Oh, adopt
I
and
had a question for you about our bylaws.
Based
This
on
line
seven
reading.
grandfather teachings.
Kind of trampled on.
And use on that.
So
Well,
you
we
have to
can't
make a
really,
motion to change it.
say AIPAC.
It's not abnormal
Hold on, that's
to receive,
I mean, one of our is on the employee.
Looks
doesn't matter,
great.
it's after
Okay,
hours.
can we take a vote?
We know the
Approve.
members. Those contracts with the school for
1, 2,
students.
3, 4, 5. I'll say 6.
A vote on adoption of the etiquette?
Yep.
To APAC?
Yes.
I'm only here on the Title VI part.
Okay, 6 in approval, none. Does anybody not want to? Any nays?
No
Okay,
worries.
so that
Five
sounds
things
like a
for
resolution
open
was
here.
passed.
No worries.
Okay,
I'm just,
so then we'll say the Title VI.
You gotta learn these words. A motion to pass with unanimous consent.
Oh, okay, so
Then you gotta wait for somebody to object.
in approval, unanimous consent.
There you go.
Okay.
Hearing no objection?
Indian Parent Committee, so this is just gonna be the same thing for Title VI. Resolves to adopt and abide by the proposed rules of etiquette based on some grandfather teachings. Can you read about the
Yeah,
read
I
on?
just like to make sure.
do you wanna just like paste and copy?
Yeah, I guess I
That might be-
That's all I care about.
If you want it, propose it, vote on it.
already started.
If you don't,
Yeah, I just
For the
wanna-
JOM, we can just
We
paste
can get
and
rid of it.
copy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Instead of,
Well,
I'm just
yeah,
gonna let them know. If we keep it, we're gonna lose people.
Dawn, can you lead a vote for the resolution for Title VI, please?
Oh, I move that we adopt this resolution for Title VI. Oh, you want the movement or just what the resolution would say?
So here's what I got, the Title VI Indian
I
Parent.
see it.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the resolution.
Oh,
Second.
yeah. That's what I thought you said. So I was like,
All in favor, raise your hand. Sorry, Dad.
3 or 5? 5 in approval. Any dissent?
Weren't there more than 5? I'm sorry.
yeah, there's 6.
There's 6?
She just didn't see my hand.
Oh. 6 in approval, unanimous. Okay, so we have adopted rules of etiquette
Oh, yeah, you could have said something.
for APAC
I'm
and
gonna-
Title VI.
I raised my hand.
It was 7. You really screwed up.
But you're the chair.
Okay.
She's the chair. I'm not even, I didn't name nothing.
The chair doesn't get to vote anyway.
The chair doesn't get the vote? Weird.
In Title VI? JOM does.
I would
You're the tiebreaker.
Yeah, the JOM, it's the
According to
JOM's
Robert's
different.
rules?
JOM is,
We should change that.
JOM is,
We have a whole.
Is it Robert's
Yeah,
rule
yeah,
for
you
the
guys lost.
chair is the deal breaker?
I feel like that's not a respectful comment.
That's normal what I've seen.
it's a joking.
Yeah, that's
And the chair
I'm
does
pretty
not
sure
vote.
it's Robert's.
Well, it wasn't meant to.
But
I wasn't
I don't know if
meaning
you're going by Robert or
That's not how it's
Roberta's rules, so.
Robert's rules is what's in.
I haven't met
our
Roberta,
bylaws.
but I want to meet her.
I know, right?
Robert's rules are, bylaws and Robert's rules.
But I would take up your vote there and say, let's move that.
5? Say 5.
The chair is discretionary.
Oh, that was 6 then, as opposed to 7.
Okay.
But there's 6 of us.
Yeah.
6 of us voted for it. It's unanimous.
Yep.
The next thing, I would like us to talk about how much time we have left. What time is it?
5:19.
It's Article 4, Section 3.
Okay, we need required data from the district, and I'd like us to come up with an expected timeline. So it'll be different for each committee, but it should be around the same set of information. So what I have listed is American Indian graduation rates, attendance rates, school engagement, dropout rates, reading, writing, and math proficiency indicators, staff retention, discipline rates, referrals to law enforcement, participation rates of advanced placement in extracurriculars, college attendance, and special education rates. For Title VI, we need the annual performance report. I assume for AIPAC you need the education aid. Yeah.
When we look at like being specific, like what exactly are we wanting? Like what Jen was saying, when we say college attendance, I don't know if that's data that the district, like, is that something that the district would realistically have, because not all students are going to
According to
report?
MDE, they're supposed to have that, especially if they're special education students after they graduate, what they're doing post-secondary, regardless if it's a career or college.
If the families disclose.
Well, they still have an obligation to keep that data.
Do you have that white earth JOM thing?
So you're not gonna get 100%,
Right.
It's tracked by
JOM.
MDE,
but you're getting.
it's on their website in
Yeah.
their data center.
Okay,
This
if that
is-
stuff is submitted or.
This
So-
is list required data of district.
Because I'm just like, what does that mean by college
Oh,
attendance?
in the bylaws.
Because it just says college attendance.
Oh, I added the college attendance rates to make that more clear.
Okay.
Well, and the other thing is what I think is happening right now when you're saying you want it specific on the data. So MDE has this really cool trick. Am I being recorded?
Yeah.
So note this, MDE doesn't let you know all of the data that they use and store based on the Mars numbers. So I would come up with my list and ask them specifically, what am I missing?
Ask who specifically, MDE?
Absolutely. The data I have access to, we have in legislation, I can go down to one student in the state for the tribe. And TNEC tried doing this before, and as a superintendent, I knew all of the data that at that time that they collected. But the parents, they don't know that. So there are extra things that we don't know about.
Like things that we don't know are being tracked.
Correct.
So we will have to reach out to probably Indian Education and see what they would suggest.
But the first issue is that the district's been asked to produce it.
Yeah.
And the committees want to affirm that request and get some
So
response.
we'll need a resolution to get this as required data.
Because it's in the bylaws, right?
Yep.
Is it the?
What does school engagement mean? Like what are we asking when we say, so graduation rates, attendance rates, school engagement?
Participation in sports, after-school clubs.
Okay, so that's where you need to be more clear.
That's what I'm
Okay.
asking, like when
Yeah.
we say, give us rates of school, give us data on school engagement, what are we wanting from them specifically? Because we have advanced engagement or
Extra.
participation in advanced placement in extracurriculars.
Yeah, all those markers that make us realize that our students are comfortable in the schools and are actively participating and feeling welcome.
So lining, I'm saying like,
It's a little bit redundant.
we wanna
And
like.
that
pin
term
on
is defined by MDE in its data gathering.
School engagement.
Mhm.
Oh,
And it comes from the ACEs studies.
oh. Okay, so I'll put that back in.
Should that be noted somewhere so that the
Well, they
district
should know.
can't?
They should know.
Okay,
But if we wanna ask specifically, so they can't come back and say, well, you
Right.
didn't specify what you meant.
what they should do is what they don't do, and that's why we're here right now. Right?
That's why I'm saying, like,
Let's be specific
Yeah.
to the district.
Okay.
Because it's not, I haven't seen it, and we have consultation with them at the tribal level, and I have to sit next to the person because Anthony last time, I'm being recorded, didn't, wanted to wait a couple of days to get me information on data, and I said, wait, no, I know how to, Infinite Campus, and their person was right there, and she got on it and was pulling up the data. So, it's there, and you need to push forward on getting it.
Don?
So as far as our bylaws go, the only data that we ask for currently is every 2 years we require a needs assessment that's built with the district. So we need that data every 2 years. So that's already in there. But I had a meeting with Anthony, when was it, last week, something like that. And I told him that we were going to start expanding the things we were gonna be asking about for JOM students. So I propose that this is, for as far as JOM is concerned, is gonna get bigger and bigger. I don't know if it's gonna be put in the bylaws, but maybe that is the proper place for it.
It is the proper place
So
for
I
it.
guess that's where we'll try to build it. We're
Because
gonna build it.
JOM committee should get JOM specific data, Title VI committee should get our Title VI specific data, and our APAC gets all of it.
Right, so these are subsets of students that
Yep.
we're trying to focus in on, so we do need kind of the same pool of data, but we need it set for the specific.
Right, and having it in our bylaws would say, this committee is concerned about the jail, otherwise they give it to us once and say, you guys figure it out. It's like, we don't
That's
know
why
who the students are.
I'm being the technical person on the different committees.
Yeah.
Because they're lumping and it skews the rates of
Mhm.
a lot of the information that you want.
Well, I mean, for just tonight's meeting, and I tell them all the time that I want these numbers. I guess I probably should have just put it in the bylaws, but that we want our JOM number versus the title number versus the APAC number, right? And I ask them every time we have a meeting for those numbers.
Okay, that's why you have to have minutes so you can prove it.
Well, no, that's by email. That's,
Then, I'll save the documentation and
Yeah.
then resend it, and resend it, and
Yeah.
resend it.
And that's why the bylaws should reflect a schedule of disclosure of this data for, across every school year for when each committee needs to have the data to do the work.
well, I'd like to fill up the committee first before I start setting subcommittees. Tough to, because it's all the same people all the time.
Right, but I'm talking about a schedule.
Yeah.
In the bylaws, like quarterly or biennial year, some marker and some
Like-
schedule so that it's clear in the bylaws
Yes.
and follow-ups.
Like I said, currently in the
When
bylaws,
writing
there's
can
a
occur.
needs assessment that needs to occur with the school district. So that's the data we
But
need.
if you want this data and if you care about this data, it needs to go into the bylaws.
No, it is, that's what I'm saying. That part is in the
A needs
bylaws.
assessment is different, Dawn, because we can
It's-
create the needs assessment and then that's sent out. This is just a letter form of this specific data the district will provide by this time. The needs assessment, we can change and craft each year based on
Yeah.
this data, right? We get that data and then we can use that to make a needs assessment. We can say,
So that
These
doesn't
are
fit in
things-
this spot.
yes and no. The needs assessment is driven, what we write as the needs assessment every 2 years
Right.
can be and should be in part
Needs
driven
assessment
by,
needs to be done annually.
You need the
the
data
data.
to make your SMART goals to get the money.
right.
Right.
And
Well,
to
no,
help,
I
and to
was
help
out
the
there. I was
district
out there.
accelerate
So-
improvements.
So
Yeah.
we keep the needs assessment part in here because that's a legally required
Right, I
part.
just didn't want if
It
it was,
includes
if this was the answer to this question. Because it's a part of it.
I should have taken a nap today.
I'm going to
Where's
get
the
some Mountain Dew.
Heck no, I'd
There
be
we go again.
jumping off the
So when we're talking
Lydia's
about
got her hand up.
school engagement, yep,
Can we put, for participation rates of advanced placement, could we include and CITS and PSEO? Because advanced
Yes.
placement is a specific type of class.
college in the school.
Yeah, college in the schools, post-secondary enrollment option, because those are different specific programs.
Yeah.
okay, done.
Thank you.
For the school engagement, that was, you said ACEs factors?
Yeah, I think it comes out of the ACEs factors, and I think it's identified in the MDE data that's on the MDE website. That's where we got that term, and I think it has identification and definition
So should it say
as defined by
identified, yeah,
MDE.
like
And
specifically?
there you go. So that's more specific. I had, Lydia.
Could we put for reading, writing, math proficiency indicators, I don't, in my opinion, MCAs are not the only thing that we should use, because there's always reflective. Could we put by MCAs and fast bridge testing data by grade in school?
Yes, you can do that. They're not gonna give you the cell size if it's under 10.
If it's under 10, yeah, because they can't, yeah.
However,
data.
They can clump them,
Right.
right? So you can do 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, if that's what you need to get over 10. The other thing is, be very clear on the beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year, on the fast bridge.
Fast bridge.
And then if students are under, in the, less than the 25 percentile, then what is their, that's where you can ask for a monthly report. How many of our students improved this month on the, what's it called?
The the fast bridge?
No, you do the fast bridge, you're under 25% in your age or your grade, and then you have more like
The
help.
interventions,
Interventions.
the tier 2 interventions.
Right, but they test for that. It's like dibbles or something of that nature.
Mhm.
So the other
So there's an
testing.
improvement rate that's
Right.
tracked.
Because MCAs is just like this one
Well,
snapshot.
you know what, but it snapshots everybody.
Right.
And the thing with the MCAs is, this is what I want to make sure I'm being recorded, right? So note this. So the best kept secret for MDE is the fact that the MCA test scores are within a week. That's actually there when the student is done taking the test. Those are available. As a parent, you can request as soon as that test score is completed to have access to it. And the school district, the teachers can have access to it. It's a needs to know. So if you all put in there, you need to know, like, some sort of planning in place because our students are not passing the MCAs at whatever, you can, as a group, say, at this point, then you plan your summer stuff, right?
Mhm.
So you put that in there because people don't realize that they can have access to the MCAs there.
Right. Usually it's like you get it the next year. Yeah, there's like that lag.
That's, well, it's the best,
Which is not
that's
nice.
why I said it's the best kept secret. It is not true. Just like you can opt out if you want.
Do you want it by grade level and by school?
Yeah, because
MCAs and fast bridge or other improvement measures by grade level and building?
Because I think we have,
Oh,
there's definitely
by
certain
grade level
schools that
and-
need more directed support than others. I mean, we objectively, we know that, but having the data that shows that. And I think, yeah, if they say, well, we can't give you the data for Homecroft because there's less than 10 by grade, then we could say, well, we want the whole, like, how do you, whatever we need to
Good, that
combine.
will
Combine
take
the
30
next two
yeah,
grades
right,
until you get to that 10.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's like, this will be Homecroft's 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade.
It could be,
Yeah.
but you know what?
because we have schools that definitely have less.
It's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
just to get more specific data.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so this is what I have right now for data, so as a resolution, I guess I could just copy and paste this.
Mhm.
So let's put that on the
And
resolution.
can you add a timeline for submission since we've been asking
Oh,
for 2
actually,
months?
yes, that's a
and
good
not
idea.
gotten it?
Question about graduation rates, and this, Jen might know, or Jen. I know that the graduation rates, when they put them out there, it's the 4-year graduation, but a lot of our students graduate on a 5 or 6-year track. I'm assuming that that's documented as well to request American Indian graduation rates 4 and 5 years
Oh, you can,
track.
yeah.
Because I think realistically, a lot of our students don't graduate. They graduate, but not in 4 years. And it's like, what is that difference?
But we need, and that's why we're kind of backwards,
Mhm.
is like, okay, that information's gonna be great for 5, 6, 7, but the thing is, we need it over here to understand why aren't they?
Why?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what was it that these 5
Yeah.
and 6-year graduation students, why did it take them longer? Was it because of math, or was it because of attendance? Like, what is that piece?
And they track up to 7 years. You could get
Right.
up to a 7-year.
And special ed is even longer.
Yeah, because they have like the Bridges program and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because I think putting that in there, if we want to just look at like the 4 and 5 year, or the 4, 5, 6, and just focus on the last couple years of the,
I think you should look at all the graduation
Yeah.
rates.
if they go to
Yeah.
7.
Whatever's tracked, I think you should look at because that's been a big problem.
Well, and you
Graduation.
can cook the books,
Yeah.
right? So I would wanna know, if they go to an alternative, so they're pushed out of the high school. I'd wanna know if they're downtown somewhere, and are their credits equal to, or do they get a C and then they get, like, an extra on top of it? Like, people don't realize how you can cook the books. And so your graduation rate isn't that the kid is doing the best, and they can get into college or whatever, or the military, because they can't pass the test. But they graduated, and then the kids feel like crap because they can't pass a test. So we gotta catch those, how they cook the books.
And we have to define college and career readiness.
So for Indian education graduation rates, it could be American Indian graduate 4-year, 5-year, 6, 7-year graduation
for
Water
that.
Hills graduation.
Yeah. And then you need to separate out the special education students on IEPs because they graduate differently.
4-year, 6-year, and what year? 8-year?
Seven.
Four,
Four,
It goes up
five,
to
and
seven.
4, 5, 6, and 7, isn't it?
4, 5,
Yeah.
6, and 7.
Because if we, Duluth, off the top of my head, I'm seeing the number of like 31%
5-year.
special education.
Oh.
So I would want that number for special education minus out from the others to get it, because in special education, there's a lot more accommodations that you can, right? So I'd want to know what percentages those two different groups are too.
And there's extended eligibility.
Yeah.
Yep.
What date would we like to have most of our data? What,
Like a realistic date.
Four,
Yeah, what is-
4, 5, 6, and 7. I think they, in 4 different categories, I think
Did
they
you get the
report that
special
data.
MDE reports it that way too.
Sorry, what was the note for special education?
What was the language for special
Oh,
education?
Disaggregated, isn't it?
Yes, thank you.
Disaggregated by what?
Graduation rates,
For special education.
general ed versus, yeah.
Disaggregated between, right,
Yeah, thank
general ed and special ed.
Yeah.
I would say for as much of the data we can get for last year, have it, what, by September 15th?
You can run, are you asking the Duluth to grab this for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that their data grab, they have it already.
They have, so like we could even say by our August 26th meeting.
Is it how, Jen, do you know how real, like, when you ask them to run data, how quickly can they actually pull that?
10 minutes?
They're requiring 2 weeks to give you data.
Yeah, it's, you know, you gotta give people time, but usually, you know, 2
Like, what's
weeks.
realistic, yeah.
Well, realistically, if I had access to this, which I do, but I can't because this is different, I could get this information, like Betsy could get it for me right now. James
Right.
to get it for me right away. It's doable.
MDE had said 2 weeks for a data request back in November.
Yes, so 2 weeks is their rule, so they should definitely have it. But the other thing I'm seeing for your resolution is you want timelines throughout the school year, correct? So the MCAs, I would want them when? To plan your summer?
They do them
When
in
they're
April.
available.
They do the MCAs in April.
So when
April.
available? And don't let them get away with, well, they're not available until August.
I would say we would like them by prior to our Title VI,
May.
so first week of
But
May.
they're available, when available.
Yeah.
That's a good term.
When
But we're
available.
talking about 2 things. We're talking about them producing the data for last year right away.
Mhm.
And we also asked them to produce this data for the previous 2 years. And we're talking about 3 things. And we're asking them to schedule the production in an
Yes.
ongoing manner forward.
Yes.
So on the ongoing,
On the
the
ongoing.
MCA should be when they're ready.
When they're ready, which would be late April, early May.
Correct. So I think the window for the MCAs can run until mid-May. So it
Mid-May.
depends on
Because
the
they have a
school.
retake period.
No,
or like
it depends on the school district. You have to
Okay.
choose your window.
Okay.
The other one is I would want the Fast Bridge. I would want what is it, boy?
They do fall.
Right, beginning of
Yeah.
year, yeah, so it's boy, middle of year, Moy, end of year, Eoy.
Yeah. So like maybe October.
Well, they have them right away.
They have them right away.
Yeah.
But I'm just like coming up with a schedule for them to bring us
As soon as they're available.
as soon as they're
'Cause
available.
different
Okay.
schools may
Okay.
administer
Yeah.
that testing. at
And you don't
different
want them to go, well, you guys are kind of getting picky with the date. As soon as they're available.
As soon as they're available. Okay.
The other one I would look at is on a monthly basis. I would have them pull, as a principal, I used to pull this for our school board every month. I would pull how many students we have in the district, right? How many students, because then you'll see a drop, or is there a movement and transition? Homeless, something could be going on. So you want your count every month of how many students are current. You would want the attendance rate. I would break that down with, I call them like K4, pre-K4, something like that. Middle school kids, they know how to skip, but they really don't get good at it until high school. So I used to
Oh, man.
So I used to break down elementary, middle school, and high school for attendance, and also suspensions and expulsions. And then, so those are every month.
Everyone.
Because then, you know what?
So that's like a separate part of it would be monthly or at each monthly meeting, these types of data. Because this is like our
Right.
big request.
Yep, yep.
And then there'd
But
be like
you want to give them an idea of what you're asking for and when. So if they
Right.
know it's monthly, just remember that your monthly is going to be what they focus on. So if you have attendance issues, discipline issues, somebody over there knows you're over here watching, because you're getting that information, not 6 months from now and go, well, you know, they were on track to graduate, I don't know what happened.
Should we have a set date to just review all of this data as a committee? Like in September, in October, have it by this date?
We need
we'll
this to make
review
our
it.
plan though.
You will have to, God, I can't think off the top of my head, but you have tribal consultation in September. With Fond du Lac, they will have to have this information.
Before tribal consultation in
There you go.
November.
Before tribal consultation, before fall consultation, tribal consultation, that would be a good way to word that.
Is there a date for that? Do you off the top? You should just know, I'm just kidding.
Well, I do know that our tribal council is trying to set just a 10-day window.
Okay.
But they forgot that we have schools too. Because we have the commissioners and then the schools, so.
So I have a question. What are the repercussions if, okay, so we're trying to be more specific, and right now it's Mr. Bonds as the acting supervisor for the American Indian Education Department. What are the repercussions if Mr. Bonds doesn't provide the information to the committees? You know, what do we do?
File a grievance, file a complaint
With whom?
with his supervisor,
Which is who?
John Magus.
Or with MDE,
And or.
who should be supervising the fiscal and data responsiveness of the district to the American Indian Parent Committees.
And it goes to the federal level too for the Johnson O'Malley.
Maybe the BIE.
That would be BIE.
And
Well,
Title VI
it
has
would be us right now.
Right,
And then
it's
we
not
would,
like it's the fiscal.
yeah,
year.
we would push it out there.
Okay.
And Title VI also has a federal oversight?
Yep, that's also federal funds, but the, that is filtered, the fiscal agent is MDE.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we want, for this resolution, this specific, because this is more, this is like, we want this big chunk of data. Do we make a separate resolution that talks about
I
our
would.
monthly meetings?
I
The
would.
data that we would like at a monthly meeting? Or
No, I would
include
keep
that?
it all in one area, because you're being very generous by saying this is a big chunk of information. No, it's not. It's like 3 clicks.
Well, I'm saying like, we want them to provide a bulk, like this, there is a lot of data for us to like look through.
Oh, once you get used to it, it's quick. Like, you'll go through it like that.
They do this all day long, Maria. They really do. It's like their daily reports that are accessible at the state level, that is just a bloop, bloop, bloop.
Like the
Well, and
report
if
card.
we
Yeah.
have,
Yeah, like the report.
Yeah.
if we have data in an ongoing basis versus a big data dump, like once or twice a year, it's much more reasonable for us to be able to sift through it.
As you're
and
moving through,
as
right?
we're moving through.
Yep. You're gonna wanna know, like, PSEOs, you're gonna get that information in the summertime. No, actually, I think they have to sign up by, like, end of March, somewhere in that time frame. So they're, you know, so you'll have like each month, you'll have your monthly, but then you'll have what is going on throughout the year. Cause the MCA's is gonna be, you know, end of April. The,
Certain
progress-
data
yeah.
is certain data makes sense on a monthly basis and other data
right,
does not
it's when
make-
it happens.
It's not gonna change.
Right.
The MCA data from September to October would be the same because there
Right.
hasn't been a change. But
Right.
things like suspensions, attendance,
Those things change.
those types of things do change
Yeah.
on.
So in the first sentence, the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee resolves to receive the following data quarterly or as available and at least yearly? I mean, do you want to put something more regular and more immediate and before yearly? Because I don't think you want just a data dump yearly, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, but we could put, because we don't want all of this data every single month, because some of it,
We'll say a fall and spring tribal consultation.
Well, they're gonna have to have this because on the school profile that I request, most of this data is on there at our consultations. I just have to double check with MDE to make sure there's no fudge in the numbers or mistakes.
but I think. like
You
what I'm
want to
saying-
break it down, is what you're saying. So do you want to start out with all of the monthlies, and then the quarterlies, and then the twice a year, and then the annual? You want to get that technical, or you just want to list them? That's up to you guys.
I think for for this resolution, I think as available is appropriate. And then if we want to bulk it into our individual bylaws, then we would put, these are our monthly data requests. And we can include it right in that template of how the AIPAC timeline is, you know what I mean? And this would be our required district report. We want,
Would that be a bylaws thing to put that we want these specific monthly data points? Is that a bylaws thing, or is that more of a resolution?
It'll have to get adopted by each committee's bylaws.
But I'm saying, is that something that you would put in the bylaws to be effective, or is a resolution a more effective way of, because these resolutions are gonna be submitted.
Right. These resolutions are going to be submitted. I like saying as available and what's up there. I also like the idea of it backed up in documentation in our bylaws.
Because then it's actual like a legal document.
Yeah, and then we can refer back to it. Did we get this in our September meeting and just kind of check it off, in that timeline?
And do we want to say resolves to request the following data so that this committee resolution turns into authority to the chairs to make those requests?
So we'll say request and receive.
Yep. Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So is this good for AIPAC?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna mirror it for Title VI, so I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so let's vote for approval. I motion that we approve
Second.
this AIPAC resolution. She's not even done. Okay, all in favor?
If I were to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So
As for
6.
unanimous consent, yeah.
The disaggregated special ed, the part where it says disaggregated between general education, special education, that was specifically for the graduation rates, right?
Oh, it can be for multiple things.
Yeah, I think you
Should
want it
that
for
be,
all of
should
it.
that be a separate line of all
I think
of
so.
the data shall be disaggregated by? Okay. So that's not that's a separate line, because it says American Indian special education rates disaggregated. Should there be a separate line that says all data?
Yeah, that should be its own bullet point.
Right,
Disaggregated.
all data
Disaggregated between.
disaggregated, not just the one.
All data disaggregated?
Final bullet point, parentheses.
Move the parentheses
Move the
to
parentheses.
its own bullet
Just
point.
move the parentheses down.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
just add all
That's it.
data.
And take off the print.
Oh, okay.
And then just say all data. Perfect.
Right, that's great.
Okay.
And then it'll be, well, you only asked for that one
This
data
is
point to
AIPAC,
be
and then
disaggregated.
we'll jump
Oh,
over.
I know.
Well, do that. Well, but that's what I'm saying, it's like if it's not, if it doesn't
Whole
say
thing.
Yeah.
it as a separate thing, then it'll be like, well, it's only.
And
for
not
that.
all schools will bring their BARS person or their data group guru either. So then they try to lag. I'm trying to find out who's working at MDE to get me information on the fly.
Okay, the Title VI Indian Parent Committee resolves to request and receive the following data as available and at a minimum
Oh,
yearly.
Flash
Something
the
happened.
screen.
Oh, can we get some help with our
Yep.
screen?
It's distracting.
Yeah, I think so.
Went black and I couldn't hear her anymore.
screen went black and I couldn't hear.
And my ears shut down.
As soon as you can't see.
My brain got noisy.
There we go.
That's what it should be
I
showing.
mean, I know your senses are
Thank you.
connected, but I don't know.
Okay, so same thing, but for Title VI. I motion to pass this resolution.
Second.
Second. Question about, because we talked about how we want the data for the different, Title VI and JOM and AIPAC are different groups of students. When we say the Title VI, so does that titling automatically denote that we want it only for these students? Or
Yeah.
do we need to specify, because we're saying,
Well, it's a resolution, each
For
committee
each.
has to submit their resolution.
So we'll say
Because-
for all Title VI students.
Yeah. And then the APAC, or, you know,
yeah,
who's good at making flyers? I'd make my own flyer. I was doing a side note.
I can make a flyer.
Well, I was just thinking, why have Anthony or somebody else make a flyer for us? You know,
Yeah,
Hello?
we could just make our own. and
because
send
they
it
can,
out.
well, yeah, we could submit it to them, because they should be printing it and
oh,
posting
yeah,
it.
but people make flyers all the time and.
I made the last one.
And then you just submit it and then they do with their thing. 'Cause
I don't dare take him on ADHD.
Oh, there's some
again.
cool things out there.
have you
How about
published
your,
My ADHD went nuts.
can you tell them, I'm a super old publisher.
Okay, so all of those in approval for the Title VI
Microsoft
resolution.
Paint.
All those in approval for the Title VI resolution. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Voting on something.
Yeah, eight approval.
Portia Johnson, right?
Any dissent? Okay, perfect.
Did you get it?
We are almost through the list. Rich.
Portia Johnson Drive.
Okay, so we've got our committee norms. I would like us to have our meetings stored. So here's what I'm saying. To prevent the misrepresentation of Indian parent committees in the district, meetings will be recorded, transcribed, and stored with full transparency. All committee members will be able to view and edit transcriptions of the meetings.
I don't like the ability to edit a transcription given to everybody.
Yeah, so what happens is, someone gets kind of out of the teachings and almost the boot to the door. And then they'll say, I never said that, and I want to change it. I didn't sound like that. So I think it's more about, when it's the recording and they transcribe them, is more about, did it transcribe the name correctly, who said it? There might be some other
Like acronyms, like.
little there might be little things like that, but if you give people access to edit, they're gonna go and make themselves look pretty after they were rude, potentially.
Okay, so all committee members will be able to review transcriptions of the meetings.
And then they can make, at the meeting, they can make a motion or a request to change it to be more accurate.
Perfect.
And instead of to prevent misrepresentation, is it more generous to say to ensure accuracy?
Yes.
Yes.
I think misrepresentation, that brings some divisiveness. It's less neutral. But where are we saying that these are stored? Who's storing them?
They should be uploaded right to the website under like
I think
meeting
but be, like,
documentation.
in efforts of being specific. Like if we just put this, they were like, then I could hear.
Is this for all three committees?
Yeah, I mean, you'll have
could
to,
basically copy it.
so we have
Right.
resolutions because we've all come together,
But
but
this
you'll
is-
have to put these into your own bylaws.
This would
at
change your
own meeting.
responsibilities, because it's the secretary.
Well, but when we say will be recorded, are we talking about video? Are we talking about audio? Are we talking about recorded as somebody typing it? Are we talking about do you know what I mean? Like, what does that, defining that, like, what does that mean?
Audio recording.
I found that the audio recording and the order is actually pretty accurate, and it takes a lot of work off the secretary.
Can you hear me down here?
Yeah?
It should.
I've reviewed
Well, I have a
the
pretty good
recordings
recorder,
and you
actually,
can hear
We'll
very
have to
clearly.
put it into the budget, I think, to purchase one
secretary in charge of it.
Where are those stored?
What's the secretary talking about?
I think
So
the
JOM would have to
secretary
buy their own?
responsible. We'd probably have to sign her out or something.
But it's
This,
stored into, like,
some
a
schools will
laptop?
have, access to where you can sign out the equipment, some schools won't. But it's definitely something that you can afford to purchase, then do it. And then typically the secretary or the treasurer would be the person that would, have that, and they're responsible for those. The other thing too is, the secretary should be signing off after people approve the meeting minutes. So you have that like extra documentation that's agreed.
And the secretary's in charge of storage?
They could be, or the chair. I mean, every committee does something different. So I'm treasurer for TNAC, I've got tons of stuff that I have to do.
What are we talking about? If these are audio recordings and then
Oh.
transcriptions, those are digital files.
Those are digital files.
So-
On your Facebook page, on your web page for the school, do you have it on a jump drive? Where are you gonna store it?
It needs to be somewhere accessible to the public if anybody wants to view it. I know the district uses a YouTube channel for their school board meetings. That might
Jen,
be,
is that?
It's mine now.
I've already I didn't mean to be so disruptive. I was trying. My son's visiting from Las Vegas, so
I would request
he's
that we
here
are
to pick me up.
treated like the school board, and there is a YouTube channel that our digital audio files are uploaded to for
There you go.
public access.
That's great.
I know we've made the idea slag was kind of a request of this, because we've had issues when we've met like at Denfeld or in other schools that we sometimes can't connect, like if we have personal like computers to the Wi-Fi because of the district Wi-Fi. The idea and concept of a school issued like a Chromebook that is designated to AIPAC or to Title VI that is provided by the district so that it has the ability to connect to the network, and then drives could be, and that could be a way to increase the collaboration too, where it's like if there's a drive and then the Indiana department coordinator or the or the admin for the clerical could, all of the business in theory documents could be shared into that, and that the district would provide that hardware and any software on that. That was something
And
that
that
we had,
platform.
that what we had discussed. And is Otter AI is compatible with Google?
They use Gemini, I think.
Okay.
Gemini, I think,
Or-
is another good option, though.
Because then we're not, because not everybody has a personal computer that they could supply if we're gonna store them, like Jen said, on a jump drive. Not everybody has that technology. So if the district provides it, that's part of that like collaboration of supporting the operation of the committees is
Well, I
providing
think
that.
what's reasonable is whatever they are willing to do for the school board.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm
So I
looking
just
at that
keeping
right
it as
now.
simple as that, is equitable, equipment, and yes.
So, right, I'm just gonna remind us of the time too, because we're just about 6:00. But the school board does have meeting minutes that are, or their meetings are recorded and uploaded to the district's YouTube channel. And if I poke around in here a little bit, I know that there are meeting agendas and meeting minutes too that are right on the district website. So if they can do that within the district website on the school, or the board book, excuse me, is what it's called, the board book section, they should in theory be able to do that under the Indian education, if that's where they squeezed it. Maybe we would have our own page. But that should be doable.
Yeah.
Every school has their own.
I've seen some very well done
Yeah.
websites for
Yeah.
American Indian education that has all this
Absolutely. Yeah.
data accessible
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
right down to how their budgets are spent. And
Yeah.
I would love to see that amount of accessibility.
So are we saying that minutes, that a transcript would substitute minutes?
Well, you still have to approve them.
Well, like, are we, because in my mind, if we're having meetings where there's discussion or a meeting that's, an hour, 2 hours, and then we want everybody to review those minutes, if it's a transcript, that could take a substantial amount of time for people to review those, to approve those. So are we wanting transcripts in addition to whoever the secretary is to take more succinct minutes and then have the transcripts also available? Because I feel like if we only have the transcripts, then that's a lot of time that we could take up at the beginning of the meeting for everybody who's here, review the transcript, and it's how many pages long?
I think we would have to review it before the meeting. It would have to be available on this public source well in advance. Like, say,
Well, I
the
mean-
transcript would be available within a week of the meeting.
I mean, I'm gonna give people like 10 minutes to read tonight's stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But don't
So-
you want a summary by the secretary that constitutes minutes?
Yes.
So
Right,
it's
that's
not
what,
the
that's kind of like
transcript.
what I'm saying, is to have something that is more like a succinct bullet points. This is what we talked about, this is what was decided, in more of a summary format, in addition to the transcripts that does break down. If somebody goes, oh, well, why did they vote on that? Then you could also go back to say, oh, that's how that conversation unfolded, instead of only having the transcripts. And I believe Gemini and Otter AI, in theory, could create that
Yeah,
kind of a
they'll
summary.
summarize for you.
Yep.
So to have both pieces, just so that it is more understandable and accessible to people. Yep. Just an idea.
Just thinking along the lines of how slowly things sometimes get uploaded to the district website, the school board meeting minutes from June 17th are now up on the district website, but it takes that long
Right.
for things to get
If it's a monthly meeting,
moving.
you gotta make sure that all that stuff is after the meeting, and then you gotta give people time to review them, and then
Right.
they have to approve them.
Right.
So I don't
Facebook?
think we have agreement for how we want to preserve our meetings. Are we okay to table this for now? And
Yes.
Could you bring it up on August 26th?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to close this meeting so that JOM can do their thing. Unless anyone else has any extra.
What do you mean, to eat?
We've got, so here's, I guess I'll summarize. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 resolutions from this meeting.
Nice.
So
Good
two
work.
for proposed, 2 committees with rules of etiquette and 2 committees with data requests. Okay, all right?
And interim
Brenda,
chairs?
yep.
As interim chairs.
Who am I sharing these notes I just took with? Teague, Amber, Lydia,
I have
Dawn.
the email list of everyone who signed in also at the last meeting.
Oh, I should have given you my work email.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off the recording.
Title didn't change.
I just have your